שבוע טוב, שלום לכם. עברית או אנגלית?
עברית.
עברית, באמת? I am so honored to be here to honor the 25th yard site of Rabbi Warhand, who I didn't have the pleasure of knowing in life, but his legacy is so strong on the West Side. I've heard many wonderful accounts of what an incredible human being he was, and I'm honored to be here on this occasion. In early November of 2023, right after October 7th, I led a delegation of 12 elected officials to Israel. For both sides, please, I promise I'll be brief. And that's not Hashem interested. I led 12 elected officials to Israel right after October 7th. Jewish and non-Jewish, by the way. We wanted to be there to see the situation on the ground with our own eyes. We wanted to show support for our friends and family in Israel. We went down to Kfar Aza, which, as you know, was a scene of one of the most horrific attacks. It was still an active war zone. This was early November of 2023. It was probably the most horrific thing I have ever seen in my life. It shook me to my core. I still get disturbed thinking about those images today. But I had a thought at that moment. At least now the world will see, with no ambiguity, the murderous and barbarous intentions of Hamas. I said to myself, that cannot be in question after Kfar Aza. If you had told me that day that in January of 2026 there would be a demonstration in New York City where there was open support for Hamas, I would not have believed it was possible, yet this occurred on Thursday night. Open support for Hamas, the same Hamas that murdered and raped and killed and kidnapped in Kfar Aza and elsewhere. In a Jewish neighborhood of Kew Gardens Hills, in front of a synagogue. Reminiscent of another incident just a little over a month ago here in Manhattan at Park East Synagogue on the East Side. A similar rally where one of the speakers said, and I quote, "We must make them scared." Again, no ambiguity. This was an open attempt to harass and intimidate Jewish New Yorkers going into a house of worship. This happened in our city. For an event organized by Nefesh B'Nefesh. I don't know if you know what Nefesh B'Nefesh is. I'm actually speaking to a room that I think you understand. This is for people seeking information on opportunities to immigrate to Israel. This was not a demonstration in front of the Israeli consulate or in front of a group of Israeli policymakers. This was a demonstration of New Yorkers, regular New Yorkers, looking for information on immigration to Israel. Whose political views we don't even know. You can be interested in immigrating to a country, even if you don't agree with every policy of the country. That's true of people who go to any country, including the United States. This was pure anti-Semitism on our streets. It is unacceptable. It is absolutely unacceptable. To state the obvious, this must be a city where we can worship where we want to worship, we can show interest in immigrating if we wish to Israel or elsewhere, and we can be who we wish to be. This must be New York. We must be safe in this city. But before you get too despondent, I want to tell you another story, the story of my campaign, running for this office of Comptroller, all over the 5 boroughs of New York City, hundreds of neighborhoods everywhere in New York, over more than a year, campaigning relentlessly, as someone who is openly and proudly Jewish, kind of hard to hide when your last name is Levine, someone who is open about my deep connection to Israel, and my affection for Israel. I had an ad where I spoke in Hebrew. Don't think that's been done before in New York politics. I spoke openly about my belief that New York City's pension funds should invest in Israel bonds. Yes. And I said it's pretty obvious. Israel bonds have never missed a payment in 7 decades. They pay good interest. They have been a solid investment for most of the last century in New York City, and they should be part of our portfolio. Again, we own stocks and bonds in countries all over the world. We have a diverse portfolio. There's no reason to exclude Israel from those investments. I said that in the campaign. And I proceeded to win 1.4 million votes in this city. More than anyone else running in this election cycle, more than any other candidate citywide this year, more than any other candidate on any ballot in New York City since 1957, when Robert Wagner won election so long ago. 1.4 million votes. We did that, proving that we do still have a coalition out there who believes in our values. And now I'm assuming this office of Comptroller, and I know probably the average person on the street never heard of it, but it is extremely important, the second most important and powerful job in city government, overseeing a pension of $300 billion, issuing the city's debt of $100 billion, approving all the city contracts, and most importantly, with audit, oversight, investigation, subpoena power over every arm of New York City government. This is the vehicle for accountability in New York City. I will use this office. I will be an aggressive, activist comptroller. Fighting for this community, fighting for the Jewish community, fighting against hatred when it's directed to a synagogue or a yeshiva or any institution or any house of worship or anybody in this city. I will stand up for those values. I need you in this. I need you involved. I need you in this fight. Do not walk away from this fight. The other side, they're already outside of my office demonstrating and protesting. That's already happened. I need you in this fight on behalf of our community. Are you ready for this fight? Yes, you are. אני מת עליכם, תודה רבה. עם ישראל חי.